With the activation party well behind us, Lincoln City Cultural Plaza landscaping crews have been busy planting the many varieties of trees, shrubs, grasses, and lawns that will cover the plaza grounds. Alan Hoseffel here for another construction update. I had a chance to talk recently with a landscape architect, Jessel Champoux, to find out what to expect as the site matures.
So here at the great entrance to the Lincoln City Cultural Center is our entry plaza. All of our vegetation here we planted so that the height maintains views to that sign, and then surrounded by Newport Escallonia, which will get roughly 24 inches in height, and it's got a nice evergreen foliage. And then we've got some pockets of planting called Northern Lights Tufted Hairgrass. That's gonna get a really nice burgundy pinkish color as the grass-like blades start to grow, and then it'll send up this really pretty airy plume as it goes to seed. We're gonna show you a placeholder for the Cornerstone Garden. So you'll notice here this nice big large area of dirt.
Yes. Yes.
So this will eventually become lawn, but really the big gemstone of this space will eventually be the Cornerstone Garden.
Right.
And so this space is going to feature a nice meandering flagstone pathway, and it's going to be really highly ornamental plantings, things that got really nice diverse blooms that have bloom throughout the season. And there's going to be some really nice sitting areas, a couple circular benches so you can sit and face somebody. There'll be a nice arbor that you can walk through, announcing the entrance to the Cornerstone Garden. And then there'll be some trellising on the building facade that will allow some vining plants to grow up onto the facade. So it's a pretty exciting space, and we'll see a really nice floral explosion of color.
Yes, to come.
All right, this way.
So this is our Rotary music node here.
As you look over at the landscaping, you see two circular walls, and behind each of those walls there's some berming. And the intent of that berming was to create some visual interest, but also Highway 101 is really busy, and so the thought was that we could at least buffer a little bit of the noise and then visually screen. So the mounds have been planted with a grass mix. We anticipate probably 24 to 30 inches of grassy blades coming up. So the intent is that that mound is going to completely screen out 101.
And the trees we see there?
Yeah, so these are ginkgos. Ginkgos are adapted really well to a coastal environment, and they're a beautiful tree. They have a brilliant yellow fall foliage. They'll probably get maybe 25, 30 feet tall, maybe 10 feet around. Something beautiful about this building is the symmetry of the facade, this being kind of the central point. And we've got the historic cherry tree here that it's beloved by the community, and so mirroring that, on the other side we've planted a new cherry tree. Its presence will be just as beautiful as this cherry tree. All continuous along the path is a 10-foot section of lawn on either side, and that will be used for the farmers market. So all of our offset from our path is to maintain kind of that corridor for farmers markets. So eventually what's planned for this landscaped area, you'll see two empty concrete pads. So those are going to be art pedestals. We planted some shore pines. We know they're going to tolerate the maritime environment. And then we've picked a landscaping kinnikinick, ceanothus. It stays pretty low to the ground. Maybe we'll get up to about 12 inches high, spreading, and it gets a really nice purple flower. And then around each of our art pieces, we've got a nice mass planting of grasses, of that Northern Lights grass. And then planted within that, you'll see Lucifer Montbrugia. It's a broadleaf deciduous perennial. It's got really nice green grass-like spikes that will come up, and then it sends up this really intense red flower. So that's been placed in this grassy mix, and you'll see that plant palette repeated in the East Plaza. In this area, we have repeated our ginkgo. It'll probably reach maybe 12 feet tall, won't get to maybe 12 to 15 feet tall. And then kind of on the horizontal plane, we've repeated this mass planting of Northern Lights tufted hairgrass. And we've used flax. They can get quite large. So we've used a couple of varieties here. One, the central purple flax here, that can get as big as 4 to 6 feet tall and probably a few feet in diameter. And then we've planted on either side of that a smaller flax with a really nice pinky purple foliage, and that will probably get a few feet in height, maybe a couple feet in diameter. So another plant that is one of my favorite trees probably on the site is this Galaxy Magnolia. It's going to have a beautiful bloom in the spring. This tree will probably get 25 to 30 feet tall, 15 feet in diameter.
Jessel, thank you very much for educating me and seeing what we now have in the ground. We're anxiously looking forward to spring when it really comes into bloom.
Likewise.
Thanks again. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned to see how the Plaza Garden grows. No silver bells and cockle shells, but hundreds of plants all in a row. Coming soon, Gary the Octopus will be making his debut at the Kiwanis Outdoor Art Classroom. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to hear about new episodes. See you next time.